Have you ever walked up to a Walgreens or driven by one and noticed the little square room that holds the red cursive W behind a wall of glass? What is inside that logo room? I have wondered that question for years. Ever since I was a kid, I pondered what could be in there. To me, it has the same feeling as a liminal space. I feel as though I'm not alone in that regard. As a kid, I always wanted to go in there and see what it was like. And now physically an adult, mentally still a kid, I still really want to go in there. Then I questioned, could you even get in there? Logically, yes, the W lights up, so there must be bulbs that have to be changed. But then when you walk in the store and look up, there's no little Coraline trapdoor or staircase or ladder to get up there, at least at the stores I've been to. There's no door on the outside, which leaves one option, the roof. And yes, that's the answer. Most locations have a roof access door, so it is accessible. But there's still many more questions. Why do certain locations have bigger rooms than others? Why does Walgreens have this in the first place? Why not just have a regular sign on a pole? Who is allowed in there? And most importantly, what is actually in there? So the first question, why are certain rooms bigger than others? Some are just a little square with a 3x3 glass pane look. Some have a larger rectangle where it's a 5x3. Some have a bay window type of design. Personally, I think these are the coolest. Some have a circular design. I don't know what that type of window would be called. Some have a cathedral looking design. And there's some without the room, period. And many variations of those boring buildings. The logo in the room also varies quite a lot. Some it's just a regular cursive W. Some it's the W within a speech bubble type of thing. Others have the W in a mortar and pestle, and some just have the mortar and pestle. I think the variations all depend on the size of the store and when it was built. It's a boring answer, but that makes the most sense. Trying to find these answers, it was extremely interesting to find all the weird variations, especially the circle one. Here's a very unique one. I also can't find when they started making their buildings with the rooms. So why did Walgreens start doing this? Why not be like everybody else and just have a sign outside or on the top or side of the building? Well, they do that. A lot of locations are actually normal. But as for why, I have to take a guess because, believe it or not, there aren't actually studies of this anywhere. I'm guessing it's just for uniqueness, or the fact that most locations have the little roofed area out front. I don't know what that's really called, like an attached pavilion, I guess. I don't know. But for design purposes, they perhaps just needed something above that and it just stuck. Any architects or Walgreensologists out there that want to help out with this information? So the next question, who is allowed in there? Simple answer, workers. Probably. I don't know if you have to be some rank or if new hires can just waltz up there. There's also probably the occasional kid that went unsupervised. Are there any Walgreens workers out there that have had any experience being up in this room? But now, I must answer why you clicked on this video. What is in there besides the logo? Is there carpet? Well, if there is, I'd imagine it's the yucky kind that schools have that sort of feel like jagged Velcro. Google AI says this is a break room area for the workers. So maybe there are tables and chairs and possibly mini fridges and food items. I do have to disagree with Google for once. I don't think this is a break room. Guessing will only get us so far. The most logical and unfun answer is absolutely nothing. I mean, to be fair, we can see inside of that room. And there just doesn't seem to be anything from the outside. Unless it's like a one-way glass, but then that confuses things, so probably not. So what is in the Walgreens room? It's whatever we want it to be. Just because it looks like nothing doesn't mean that's the answer. If you want to believe that there's nothing, sure, go ahead. If you want to believe there's a single quarter on the floor, go ahead. If you want to believe that there's a Meep tablet from 2013 in there, go ahead. If you want to believe there are discarded copies of the E.T. Atari game, go ahead. If you want to believe there's an old dingy corduroy coat that smells like unfiltered Pall Malls, go ahead. Personally, I think there's nothing physically in there. But does anyone remember that one Treehouse of Horror episode from The Simpsons called Homer Cubed, where behind his bookcase there was a portal to another dimension and Homer got stuck in the 3D world? The entirety of Springfield tried to rescue him, but was no use. I think a similar portal exists within this room. Or perhaps this room is where a portal elsewhere in the world exits out of, so you get stuck in the Walgreens room. Either way, I think that stuff is actually cooler than what could be in there. So I kinda don't want to find out now. What do you think is in there?